Okay, welcome to another video. So as you can see, the weather is still crap, but the ground is dry, so it's cold. Don't get me wrong, it's still cold, but I was so desperate to get out on the bike that I'm out anyway. It's a bit of a nothing video really. All I'm doing in this is I'm going to be testing the difference between using Rocksteady and just general what people normally use for stabilization, and then switching over to a manual shutter speed and turning stabilization off, but using a third-party program called Gyroflow, which is really good, which uses the gyroscopic data on the video to stabilize the footage. So at the moment it's got Rocksteady on. It's really not going to be very much of an interesting video. I'm not going to wow you with any stories or anything, so it's basically just a comparison between what this is, Rocksteady, bog standard, what most people use, and then using Gyroflow on the other one. Now the advantage of Gyroflow can be that you get to choose, I say choose, you get to, it's more of a sliding scale of how much stabilization you want, as opposed to Rocksteady is just what it is what it is. Whereas in Gyroflow you get like a percentage slider you can change, and it also means you can lower the shutter speed, because you can lower the shutter speed, get a bit more of that cinematic blur without the stabilization going all wafty and jittery, because you can dial it back a bit in Gyroflow. So I want to test that. So at the moment I'm on 4K 50 with Rocksteady on ultra wide, just and then automatic ISO and pretty much automatic shutter speed. The only thing is it's on 1/200 and upwards, so it doesn't go lower than 1/200. That's basically for stabilization reasons, but I'd do that. Anyway, now we've got through that mess. So this is what it's like with Rocksteady. There's not really much to report, is there? It's just, it is what it is. Everyone knows what it's like, everybody uses it. So I'll see you in a bit. Well, actually, I'll continue riding for a bit, but I just won't narrate much. I haven't really got much to say. I've got a few things coming for the bike, a few videos in mind, but the weather's just so crap that I just haven't done anything on the bike. I've just been using the car. Like I say, I do have in mind places to go. Just things to do when the weather's nice, like places to go and visit and film. See what this country's got to offer in terms of nice places to visit. Wow, that was loud. And I've got a load of stuff. I've got some bar end mirrors come from AliExpress, which I need to check out. Then excuse the sniffles, it's very cold. I mean, they could be crap mirrors, but we'll see. I've got some other mirrors as well, which I wanted to look at because they was cheap. That's about it really. Not much else to report. So I'll just ride a little bit, and then when I get the chance I'll switch over to I'm in the keep clear box now. That's a bit shitty. I'll switch over to Gyroflow and I'll show you what that's all about. Okay, so I've now turned stabilization off. I'm going to be using Gyroflow, which is a third-party program, which basically does the same as Rocksteady. You just get more control of it, and you can do it in post-processing rather than do it as you're filming. So you get more control basically. So we're going to try that. God, I hate them speed bumps. Should really use the clutch on the speed bumps, because it can really jerk your throttle hand otherwise, which isn't good. But we're going to go that way. I'm not going into Maidstone. Maidstone's a horrible town to ride through. This is a really awkward road to come out of. There's no one behind me, don't matter. Anyway, looks like I'll cut back when I've got a chance to get out of this road. Okay. Finally got out of there. But anyway, this is what it's like without any stabilization. So what I'll do is I'll put in some footage without stabilization, and then I'll stabilize it using Gyroflow. I've got the plug-in for DaVinci Resolve, so it makes it a lot easier. I don't have to do it in Gyroflow, export it, and then put it back into DaVinci Resolve. I can do it all through the same thing. Saves degrading the footage too much and rendering all the time. And what I might do after this is actually just give you a quick show of what actual Gyroflow is on a standalone program, in case you don't use DaVinci Resolve or have the full paid version of DaVinci Resolve. So with this setting, I've got, it's 4K 50 again, but I've put the shutter speed to 1/100. So I'll set it manually to get that double the shutter speed to get the motion blur. So I'm interested to see how this comes out, because I've not actually tried this. But anyway, let's just go for a little journey. Don't really have much more to say, so we'll just go for a journey and we'll see how it turns out. Well, it is nice to get out on the bike again. It's not warm at all. In fact, it's pretty cold, pretty damn cold, but it's dry for the most part. Well, hopefully it won't be too long now until spring starts rearing its ugly head. Its beautiful head, rather. These train tracks and stuff like that would be a good test of the stabilization. Right, let's go up here. I'm not going to do too long. I just want to get home back in the warm in a minute. Plus I've got them deliveries coming. The bar end mirrors are coming today, I think. Hopefully they're going to be good. I've also got the bike booked in for its first service in just over a month's time, 17th of March. It'll be 3 months then, so even though I've only done 150 miles, not the 600, it will be the 3 months since I've had it, which has got to be done for the warranty. But then after that, hopefully riding season will be coming in. I'll be able to visit places and film and stuff like that. My plan is I'm going to join the National Trust and go visiting some National Trust sites, castles and whatever. And have a film around, see what they're like. I know, just for things, so you got excuses to get out and about and see what they're like. I can't just get on the bike and go ride for the sake of riding. I need a purpose to go out, if you know what I mean. And the National Trust, I think, will be perfect. Plus I can take the camera and I can review what the sights are like. I don't know how many people would be interested in that, but anyway, back to the topic of this video. Let me know down below what you prefer. So I'm very interested to see what the footage comes out like myself. Gyroflow is a free program. And these English crappy roads are a great test for it, because they're bumpy as poop. I'm not going up Hermitage Lane because the quarry lorries just I got to take this voice control off because the camera just decides to take the middle of my sentence as if I want to start or stop filming when I say the wrong word, when I say the words. So that wasn't ideal. So I don't know what I was capturing and what I wasn't capturing then. So I could have missed out a whole chunk of what I was saying, I wouldn't know. So definitely, there's my first tip for this camera. Turn the voice thing off, because if you say the wrong word, it will turn it off. Although it does come in handy, because you just having to fiddle around with buttons is a bit annoying. So you should have a good idea of what it's like with Gyroflow now, with it off, without using it, and then with using it, and how it compares to the normal Rocksteady mode. So I haven't really got anything to say anymore, so I'm just going to cut it there, and then if needed, I'll do a little talking head from indoors and give my opinions. Okay guys, it's the next day. I've got my coffee. Sorry cat, but I'm going to have to use this chair. Right, so that's the road section obviously done. So I thought what I'd do now is come in and show you what Gyroflow is like on the computer and how to use it on the computer. I'm not an expert, but it just gives you the basics of downloading it and using it basically. Okay, so there's two ways you can use Gyroflow. One is a plugin with your editor of choice, and the other is through the Gyroflow program itself. Now I use a plugin with DaVinci Resolve simply for the fact that it's all in the same place and you're only rendering once. You don't have to use one program, export it, move it to another program. It's just easier that way. One thing I will say before we begin, before I show you, is I have a DJI Action 5, and in the DJI cameras, if you turn Rocksteady off, stabilization off, you only get gyro data in standard D-warp or wide field of view. You don't get it in ultra wide field of view. I've no idea why, it's just the way it is. You don't lose much field of view because obviously if you're not
if you've got the stabilization turned off, you're not cropping it in a lot. So the standard wide is about as wide as ultra wide with Rocksteady on. And then because on Gyroflow you're only using a little bit of stabilization, you don't end up losing that much. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Some people might even call it a good thing because it's a more natural field of view. It's not so, you don't get an accelerated sense of speed on the sides, and some people just prefer it. But anyway, let's switch over to a different scene. So if you want to use the plugin, just Google Gyroflow plugin, and you'll find this page. It's got this is DaVinci Resolve one, but you can get it for Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro. So just come here, download it, just follow the instructions on the page. Should be simple enough. It will tell you how to install the plugin. It says it here, installing the plugin. It's just basically the instruction manual, easy peasy. So that's how you install the plugin. I'll show you the Gyroflow software now. I forgot to mention, so I'm just shoehorning this at the end. Basically, it just in DaVinci Resolve, it's just basically an effect. So you just drag it onto the clip that you want, and then it will come up with the same options I'm about to show you in the Gyroflow program itself. So yeah, you just drag and drop it onto your clip once you've got the effect in there, and then you've got exactly the same options in the editor, in the DaVinci Resolve, or whatever editor of choice that you have in the Gyroflow program. Okay, so if we open the Gyroflow software, let me just maximize that. Here it is. It's basically just it's a very basic editor, basically. And what you do, let me just make sure everything is set to default. Okay, need to restart it. Okay, I've got an example clip somewhere. Let me just projects. Right. So I've got an example clip. You just drag it in and it's loading the gyro data. Like I said, for DJI, you have to have it in wide. You can't have it in ultra wide. It doesn't have gyro data. And this is what it defaults to. Okay, defaults to these settings here: 50, smoothness, lens correction. These are the only two settings that I personally would use. Everything else I just leave as it is. So if we just move that forward to somewhere where actually, okay, horrible noise, we'll skip. Right, now this is default. What is it, 150, wasn't it? So let's turn all that down. Can I turn that down anymore? 0.1, let's do that, see what it looks like. As you can see, it's quite bumpy. So basically what I do is I put this to whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, whatever. It zooms in and takes that lens, a little bit of the lens away. The lens in on the corners away. So let's do, say, 5%. Let's type in 5. And then the lens correction, just enough. Because it's not ultra wide, you don't need a huge amount of lens correction. It's just, say, 5%. Just enough to take the corner in edge bits off. Now if we go back to where we was and try it, you can see it's much smoother. You've still got a good field of view. It's not quite as stabilized as Rocksteady, but then not everyone wants it that hyper super smooth. Some people want a bit of bounce in. They just want to take that edge off of the, jitters. So this is a good compromise. And then you can even put that down to, say, 2%. The lens correction is still pretty good on the corners. There's only a tiny little line, as you can see there, which isn't really noticeable, but you can just up the lens correction to 6 and it gets rid of that. If we go back, you can see
It makes it a lot easier. I don't have to do it in Gyroflow, export it, and then put it back into DaVinci Resolve. I can do it all through the same.
as you can see, still it's not super smooth, but it takes the edge off of it, which is what some people actually want. And it allows you to use lower shutter speeds because the stabilization isn't so harsh. It isn't so. There's not as much stabilization, so you're not getting as many jitters on the with the lower shutter speeds and frame rates that you would do if you was using the camera alone.
Same thing, so it's degrading the footage too much and rendering all the time.
And as you can see, you still get plenty wide enough field of view. Some people prefer this when it's like this. It actually looks a bit more natural than the ultra wide. So some people would prefer this. I mean, that's a matter of opinion. But they're the only two settings I use are smoothness and lens correction. I don't feel you need any more. And then you just come and export it down here. Where's the export settings? Oh, big button down here, export. Create settings presets. There you go. I haven't really used it much to show you anything else, especially the advanced settings. You can have a play with them. I just use the basics. So there it is. Gyroflow. If you don't want to use Rocksteady and you want slightly less stabilization, but you don't want it jumping about, jittering all over the place like you can take the edge off with Gyroflow in post. Yeah, so basically that's it. It's been quite a long video, this one. I do apologise. And I'm going to enjoy my coffee. So you lot can go and experiment if you want to use Gyroflow or not the action camera of your choice is built-in stabilisation. So thank you for watching. Hopefully more videos coming soon. The weather's crap, but spring is on the way. So we'll be going out and about on the bike more often, hopefully. Anyway, I'll stop waffling. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.